My name is Kamari Michael, and I will be talking about the evolution of combat sports. The Roman gladiators were ancient professional combatants who fought before the public in large arenas built for entertainment during a time from 105 BCE to 404 CE within the Roman Empire. The most famous gladiator of all time is likely Spartacus, who was the Thracian who became a slave and then a gladiator. Spartacus won fame as a gladiator and then led an escape which became a full-blown slave rebellion known as the Third Servile War. Gladiators were trained from a young age in the art of combat. They were often slaves or prisoners of war who were forced to fight for their lives. The training was brutal and focused on developing strength and endurance. In ancient Rome, gladiators fought with weapons such as swords and tridents. The fights were often to the death, and there were no rules. Gladiators were often seen as entertainment for the masses. The fights were brutal and bloody, and the audience cheered for their favorite fighter to kill their opponent. Gladiators were often killed in the arena either by their opponent or by the crowd's demand. In the visual, we see a packed Roman amphitheater with cheering crowds. In ancient Rome, gladiators were ultimate spectacles. There was a group of men training with swords and shields. These were warriors that were trained in the art of combat from a very young age. One emerges victorious to the cheers of the crowd. The gladiatorial games were brutal, but they were also a test of skill and bravery. MMA started in Japan's Shuto organization founded by Satoru Tiger Mask Sayama in 1985 as a realistic and effective system of combat derived from shooting wrestling, but mostly for the fans. MMA as we know it started on November 12, 1993 in Denver, Colorado, which was the night of UFC 1. Fast forward to modern times, we see two fighters inside of a cage. The crowd is just excited as they were in the Coliseum, but the rules have equipment and have changed. MMA fighters also undergo intense training, but they do so willingly. They train in various disciplines such as boxing, wrestling, and jiu-jitsu. Their goal is not to survive, but to win. In modern MMA, fighters use gloves and follow a set of rules to ensure their safety. The goal is not to kill the opponent, but to win the fight. The sport is viewed as a legitimate competition. The fighters are highly skilled athletes who train for years to perfect their craft. Fighters rarely die in the ring. Safety measures are in place to protect the fighters, and referees are quick to stop the fight if they feel a fighter is in danger. There has been lots of culture that is brought into MMA. As you can see on the left is Israel Adesanya. He represents African culture, and to the right we have Alex Pereira, who represents the Brazilian culture. Here we see a young fighter training in the gym. He's learning a new technique from his coach and perfecting his skills. As he spars with his partner, we see the evolution of combat sports from the brutal and deadly gladiator fights to the modern, highly skilled sport of MMA.